Hello everybody, it's Jackie with Jackie's Wreaths and Things. I'm going to show you how I would make a wreath using a 10-inch frame. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our mesh. I've already pre-cut the mesh. We're going to use 10-inch mesh, and I cut the mesh 20 inches. The reason I cut the mesh 20 inches is because it's going to fray a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it in. And that will be to hide the fray. There is only a total of 12 ties on this wreath. That clip's got teeth on it. Let's get one without teeth. So I'm just rolling it a little bit, just enough to pull the edge in. And as you notice, I'm rolling with the natural curve of the mesh. And I'm going to intentionally lay these on top of each other. Oops. I went a little off center on that one. Fix that real quick. I'm going to push my ties down out of the way as I go. Once again, this is 10-inch mesh. I cut it 20 inches long. And this technique is called the Woodland Ruffle. So typically when people order a wreath this small, it's to go in very limited space. Mostly typically nursing home doors. So when you do this, you're also going to want to keep it as flat as possible, because they really don't want a thick wreath. So this is what we're going to call this our K.I.S.S wreath. Because we want to keep it simple as possible. I'm pulling these down just a little bit. Most of the time when people order these, they're wanting to get something to cheer up a loved one. And sometimes they can't afford a lot. When I make things like this, I think about the joy that it could bring somebody giving it. and the joy that somebody could get receiving it. So I want to make a grand wreath, but make it as affordable as possible. Okay, so now we're going to go to the top. Always open up your ties when you're doing a ruffle before you start, because that will prevent some of the fray. Also makes it easier to lay your ruffle in. Now, because there is an uneven number of ties. Now, you will see this typically too with like Hobby Lobby frames. Michael's frames, the ties are uneven. So this would be the case where I would use all the same ribbon all the way around. And once again, I'm still intentionally putting my ruffles on top of each other, and the reason I do that is so that my ribbon will lay better. So just 2 more pieces. Now I'm pulling it back because my sign is going to cover the center, and I really want my decorative ruffle out. So the mesh and the frame came from Ranch House Craft Supplies. The sign that I'm getting ready to put on came from Personally Yours. The round signs that they have, they are the absolute ideal size for this type of wreath. And I just go straight down through the mesh. And I'm going to tie this one in, and then I'll flip it over and show you how I tied it on. But let me tie this one on first. Let me turn this light down just a little bit. It'll cut some of that glare back. So once again, I'm going to go straight down through the mesh with my pipe cleaner. Don't ever separate your mesh. And then what I do to tie it is I'm on the first rung here. So I'm going to tie that. And then to make sure it stays in place, I come all the way out to the last ring. And I tie it again. That creates the leverage that kind of makes my signs look like they float also. And then the leftover pipe cleaner, I wrap. And then the sharp points, I make sure that they point back into the mesh. So the next thing we're going to do is add the ribbon. For a wreath like this, the ribbon only needed to be 12 inches. And I picked 2 colors because we're going to put the same one in each tie. Like I said, it's an uneven number, so we're just going to go around and put the same ones in each tie. Now with a smaller wreath like this, you can use 2 1.5 ribbons also. This wreath, when it's done, will still be thin enough to fit between screen doors also. So I cut my ribbon 12 inches. Like I said, the whole idea to this one is to really keep the cost down. And this also won't take long to make. You can do the same technique on a regular size 15-inch work form, and it will really only take just a couple more minutes. Well, it looks like I miscounted my ribbon somewhere, y'all. Or I dropped a piece on the floor. This is a good wreath if you're wanting to fill your Etsy store, your craft booth, and you need something really quick and easy. Even if it's a 15-inch work form, I would still only cut my ribbon 12 inches. Now, what I'm going to do, the last thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to break up the polka dots just a little bit. I'm going to cut me a piece of ribbon. I'm going to cut it 20 inches. And this is what we call the Jackie bow. I'm going to fold it over in a figure 8. Make sure my loops are even. I'm going to put that off to the corner, and then what I'm going to do with these ties, I'm going to spin these ties down like a little button to add a little decoration to my bow. And then the remainder of the ties, I'm just going to cut them off. And it's that easy. So now you have a nice screen door wreath, or a really nice one to go in a nursing home. So they don't want them very big. So this wreath ends up being, it's only 20 inches. So if you want something that's affordable to ship, easy to make, this is the frame that you want to get. And overall, from start to finish, it'll only take you about 30 minutes to make it. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Thank y'all so much. Bye, y'all.